Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 29. Sort of a dark topic today, but there's a good reason for it. Believer, achiever, deceiver. Now, in the marketing space, and especially always in the marketing space across all sectors, there is sort of three categories of people or three categories of organizations. Three parties, let's call them that. And the reason it matters which one you go into is A, can you live with yourself with what you do? And also B, are you most interested in short-term gain and success or long-term gain and success? So this has to do with two things. First of all, we'll start actually with believer. Many people believe that if you visualize where you want to go, if you go to fancy restaurants, if you hang out at any place where rich people hang out, somehow it will rub off on you. There is absolutely nothing scientific about that thought. Zero, and no research to back it up. You could say that it does change your awareness, your consciousness, your conscious state, to make you pay attention. It does expose you to more successful people. But if you can't afford it, it's probably a faster path to the poor house than the success house. Because unless you happen to run into the right person while you're in that rich environment, it will do nothing to advance your wealth. Okay? So instead of printing a card with all your goals on it, as many famous rich people do, they are confusing their believing they're a believer. They're confusing their belief with their results. That is, I printed this card and then I became rich. Therefore, printing your goals on a card makes you rich. Now, the science says it probably doesn't hurt, but it's very doubtful it has any significant effect whatsoever. The famous Harvard study from 30 years ago, or whatever, a long time ago, has definitively been shown repeatedly to have never happened. Subsequent stuff has suggested, yeah, sometimes writing down goals helps, but you know what helps even more? Achieving them. And what I mean by that is, instead of believing and visualizing, wishing you could get it, instead of wishing, if you believe that you're going to get a six-pack, you can sit there all day long believing it, and you're no closer to a six-pack. During that same time, you could be engaging in process goals like my kettlebell squat exercise or any other exercise that burns calories, doing sit-ups, doing push-ups. Believing you're going to get muscles will never give you muscles. Believing you're going to get financial success without acting on it will not get you financial success. It's not that you shouldn't have confidence, that you shouldn't have mindset, which fits into the believer space. But you don't need to spend a lot of time there. Where you really need to spend the vast, vast, vast majority of your time is actually taking the actions, doing the steps. Visualizing a skill, which has been shown to increase a skill, works. But guess what? Let's put that in the belief category or the mindset category for now. Achieving it, actually doing and practicing the same skill physically has been, excuse me, has been shown very clearly to be even better. How about that? You can visualize shooting baskets, but there's no objective feedback from the universe, from gravity, from air friction and all that, right? So visualizing works better than nothing. Actually practicing shooting baskets works better than visualizing. So there you go. Action in the real world gets you closer to your success. So that's what I mean by achiever, right? Also, the reason I've got these three categories is to address the issue of marketing, and some of the most famous success gurus in the world are knowing deceivers. And I'm going to say this because I'm not going to use their names, even though you know them, because I'd get sued even for telling the scientific truth. So if you're a believer and you tell somebody to do something like put that card in the wallet, it's probably not going to hurt anybody. But visualizing or spending 2 hours a day imagining what your success is going to look like is 2 hours you could actually be taking real objective steps that at the end of the day, at the end of that 2 hours, you have actually made progress towards your success, instead of being extremely confident and having made no progress toward your success outside of your own mind, right? Mindset's important, but if it's not followed by achievement, by action that leads to real achievement, it's useless, right? Again, you can't visualize your way to a six-pack. You can exercise your way to a six-pack, but you can't visualize. So a lot of people believe and then they share it with others because they're unwilling to be skeptical. Because another thing that happens in this self-improvement space is, as much as they say, you know, challenge assumptions, it's like challenge assumptions, but don't challenge mine. Mine are right. And if you think otherwise, then you have the wrong mindset. Please leave because you're gonna discourage other people or make other people question. If somebody actually knows what they're talking about, if they can back it up with evidence or achievement, ideally both, they should welcome challenges. You're not going to spend all day arguing about it, but go, you're right, that's an interesting point, but here's how we know that's not true. Not, I did this and this caused this, because we don't know that it caused it. So you can have innocent intent and share stuff, but if you are expected or chastised or basically put down for not believing the frames that they want to put on you, the mindsets that somebody wants to put on you, and remember, this is somebody who's trying to sell you something, then you need to step back and go, do they believe it, or are they just knowingly a deceiver, that they're just deceiving me and they know this is the best way to manage that objection? So if somebody believes something and innocently and naively encourages you to do something for your success, believing it, first of all, should you just be a believer? Actually, no. You don't have to be closed-minded and say it isn't possible. But if they can't show you why it works, besides I did it and it works, because that could easily be illusory correlation, that could easily be confirmation bias, ask for some proof. If they refuse to give you proof beyond, I did this and this happened, and like I said, what else happened during that time, that's not proof. So somebody can innocently be a believer, thinking they're giving you help, but I encourage you to be open-minded, but skeptical. Ask an achiever, not somebody who's just achieved it, but somebody who can tell you why it worked, ideally, and please don't be a deceiver. And this goes beyond just my personal moral code. I'm not religious. I don't need a deity to tell me when that lying and deceiving people about your products is not okay. The larger picture and the research behind this says the same thing as me. If you deceive people knowingly, if you're a deceiver, ultimately people will discover it and you will be exposed as a fraud. Long before that, oftentimes you only get short-term gains from it. And then people start to talk and say, yeah, you know, I took his course and I did the work. Got to do the work. If you don't do the work, it's your own damn fault. I did his course. I followed the steps. I put in all the effort and time they said. And guess what? It didn't work the way they said it was. Now, a good achiever will go, oh, okay, let's back up. You're either doing something wrong or we've missed something. Let's fix that. But most of them, once they got your money, once you are a believer, an unquestioning believer, they're fine. They just like use the system, use the system, use the system. But if you're using it and it's not working, you have every right to ask why, or as well you should, for a refund. So what do you want to be? A believer, unquestionably, an achiever, or a deceiver screwing people over? My name is Tim B. Green. That's it for Crush It Club episode 29. Bye for now.